Pastor Craig Connor of the First Baptist Church in Panama City, Florida, gave a hilarious sermon where he spoke about Planned Parenthood. And he may have made one of the biggest math errors and math fails I've ever heard.
How did we get to the place where the federal government gives this organization $540 million a year of our money to fund this evil? How did we get there? And we have absolutely no choice in how our money is being spent. Friend, that offends me. I don't know how it affects you, but that greatly offends me. And honestly, I was talking to the Lord about this just the other day, and I said, Lord, I can't continue this. You know, if Planned Parenthood is not defunded, I may just stop paying taxes. I know that I'll go to jail for it, but friend, it breaks my heart to know that when I send my check in to the IRS, they are taking money out of my check I send to them, and they are using it for this evil purpose. How do we ever get here? Friend, you want to talk about reducing the national debt? We could reduce it overnight if they would defund this evil organization and put it on the national debt. Man, we could get out of debt immediately if they would do that.
We could get out of debt immediately if they just defund Planned Parenthood? You just said it's $530-some-odd million or whatever it is that goes to Planned Parenthood. You know what the national debt is, right? What is it now? 18 trillion? 19 trillion? Something like that? 18 trillion or 19 trillion? He's like, just defund Planned Parenthood. We're good money. Call it even Stevens. After you defund Planned Parenthood, you're so incredibly far off in your numbers. And here's where some people might say, come on, man, you know what he's saying. He didn't mean that national debt. He meant the deficit, which is different. Ooh, good. You know the difference. Wonderful. There's some people out there that know the difference between the national debt and the deficit. Yeah, even if you take that number, what's the federal deficit, the annual deficit? It's about $500 billion. So even if you use the deficit, he's way off. What the fuck are you talking about, dipshit Magoo? It did defund Planned Parenthood, take care of the debt. That's how it works. Imagine this guy as president. Oh my God, it'd be the most hilarious thing ever. Get rid of all the funding that we do for sex education, and we'll be running, by my calculations, about a $72 trillion surplus. I done did the math. Come take a look at it, Cletus. Oh, you sad, sad little man. What is wrong with you? And what's sad is that that's not even like the worst part of the clip necessarily, because there's a worse moral error as well. He's like, I might stop paying taxes over Planned Parenthood. I'm so outraged! I'm so outraged about Planned Parenthood. By the way, 3% of Planned Parenthood funding goes towards abortion. And that 3% is not government funded. So even if you're super outraged by the recent videos, it still doesn't make any sense to say cut funding to Planned Parenthood. Why? That money does not go towards abortion. What's it called again? The Stupak Amendment, was it? That it's been attached to like 800 pieces of legislation since they invented it, or the Hyde Amendment maybe. It's been attached to so many pieces of legislation where every time they reaffirm no federal funding for abortion. So it's only 3% of the funding, and that funding is not even from the federal government. So when you pay taxes, you're not paying for it. You think you are because you're a dumbass and you're ignorant and you don't learn. But still, like I said, that's not even the most egregious part. He's saying, well, I'm going to stop paying my taxes because they're so evil with what they do. Where was your moral outrage about paying taxes to a bad government when your government invaded a country that didn't attack you, and as a result of that, at least 200,000 civilians died? And by the way, we stayed there and we jacked the oil and we're still back in there right now. And oh yeah, by the way, right now we're currently involved in military interventions in 6 different countries. Afghanistan, Iraq, Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, and I'm missing one and I can't even remember it. That's how sad it is. Syria. There you go. But that's how sad it is. It's hard for me to even remember all the countries which we are currently fighting in, whether it's just drone strikes or airstrikes or just an all-out war. We have 900 military bases in over 100 different countries. We are a modern imperialist nation. We are a superpower. If you look at the history of the U.S. government, we topple governments all the time, democratic governments, to put in dictators, and then we lecture the world about, oh, we care about democracy and freedom. Really? Then why'd you just take out a free democratic government and put in a fascist dictator? Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? So you want to be morally outraged? Be outraged over that. Be outraged over the fact that so many people have been killed because your government does stupid fucking wars. But no, not a fucking peep about that. In fact, he probably likes that, like all these conservatives. Oh my God, I'm so pro-life that I'm in favor of the Iraq war. Let's go to Iraq. I'm so pro-life that I'm for the death penalty. What the fuck? How does that one work? How do you square that circle in your dumbass mind? No, see, it's misplaced priorities and it's silliness. And of course, in conclusion, I have to add this because it's true. You're watching those Planned Parenthood tapes, you don't even know the context. The context is, these people said, we are scientists, we are researchers, we want to cure disease, so we're coming to you for fetal tissue. And then they discuss the fetal tissue, like adults would. But oh my God, they used icky words and they didn't speak exactly right and use the proper tone, so oh my God, I'm so outraged, we defund it immediately. Wait a second, aren't you guys the guys who say, we stand up for hard truths, we don't care about emotions, we don't care about playing that card and being overly sympathetic and mushy? That's what the liberals do. No, we're the party of hard truths. So I just told you the hard truth. The hard truth is, they said we're scientists, we're researchers, we need fetal tissue to cure diseases, and the people at Planned Parenthood said, okay, well, here's the way it works, here's what it costs for transportation costs, here's, there's liver tissue, there's this tissue, there's that tissue. Oh, icky words! Oh my God! Defund. So again, total hypocrites, because you pretend like you're in favor of harsh truths, and then what do? You hear icky words and you lose it, and you don't care about the context of the Planned Parenthood video, and instead of your moral outrage being focused on things like the Iraq War and CIA torture, for example, what are you focused on? The Planned Parenthood video, where you want to defund Planned Parenthood and balance the budget.